Florida.
Mm-hmm. How do you use assessment results in planning from year to year for your school?
Well, it's actually done much more frequently than year to year. Every 2 weeks, we have what are called our early release days, when our teachers come together in the afternoon for training. And as I mentioned earlier, every 2 weeks we are giving common grade level assessments. During that 2-week interim, the teachers score the tests, and my coaches analyze the tests and bring back forth the averages, the patterns, the results. So the teachers take those planning days to actually take the assessment results and the data to determine their next steps of instruction. So for instance, I had a teacher in a furious call me on Friday night and say, I'm going to have to change all my plans because the children did not do as well on the math assessment as I thought. This was a first grade teacher. And I said, Stacy, you're right on the money. Then back it up and go back and reteach and review and go back, and we'll assess them again. So it plays a critical role if you stay right on top of it and you use the assessment to determine your very next steps of instruction. On the school level, from year to year, yes, we do use the FCAT data to show the overall global needs of the school. But even more intermittently than that, we use our benchmark data and we use our district-wide tests and the FAIR testing to show, okay, this is where they were in September, but now here's where they are in November, so let's move our instruction to this place.
I'm glad that you mentioned the FAIR assessment. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I know it's new. It's new to our state.
It is new, but it's one of the best new tests that we have for diagnosing and determining how well children are coming along with their reading, with their fluency, with their vocabulary, all the components of reading. It is new, but we did test at our school all children, K through 5. What it provides for the teachers is reports and ways to group the students for their similar needs. So for instance, if we've got a handful of children in a second grade class who are way behind in phonemic awareness, the data will show you these children need to be grouped, and here are some strategies, and here are actually some tools to use when you're grouping them and when you're working with them.
What a wonderful and perfect way to convey to teachers how important assessment is in instruction.
It is, and it's not the big bad dragon out there. It really is just a tool so that we can focus on how to best help each and every child.
One more topic before we wrap up, and I release you back to your busy day as a principal. I know that at your school you have had a special needs pre-K4 class, which would be of a lot of interest to our students. Yes. What type of assessment procedures precede those students coming to you, and what kind of assessment do you have for them?
When they come to us, they usually come to us as a result of child find, so that their parents, their pediatricians have already determined that there is some developmental delay. Most, I'd say 90% of them come to us already predetermined that they are developmentally delayed, which means, okay, we know that there's a gap, but we don't quite know what it is. Our teacher and the paraprofessionals who assist her then go through with the same FAIR testing. They go through Flicker's testing, and they do some testing also on motor skills and a little bit more of a broad test. We also get our ESE department in and our guidance counselors in to do some testing. Sometimes it is even sensory. Sometimes there's a hearing impairment or a language impairment, so we get our speech and language pathologists in there as well. It's really a global year of taking a look at the whole child and everything that they need as we're trying to prepare them for kindergarten and as we get them with readiness skills for kindergarten. It's a 2-year program. They can come to us as 3-year-olds, so they stay with us when they're 3, they stay with us when they're 4, and then we transition them on up into a kindergarten classroom. Right now, some of the students move into kindergarten without any further diagnosis. Some we will have determinations that maybe there is a learning gap somewhere, and then we're placing them right into a direct kindergarten class that will have support services for them.
I'm glad that you mentioned school readiness and the critical role that that plays. Can you talk to us a little bit about determining school readiness at your school?
It's difficult. It's kind of a catch-22 that we're in right now with how fast the world is increasing its speed of learning. And there comes a point where you wonder how far down in age we can back up the learning. You know, are we really wanting to teach our children to read when they're 2 and 3 years old? There are some things that the little human body just is not ready to do. And yet, we're accelerating at such a fast rate, we're expecting more and more out of our young ones. Our school is has a very wide variety of readiness skills. Some of our children come to us reading in kindergarten, and some of our children come to us completely unfamiliar with the alphabet. So in terms of where we are, our kindergarten teachers have to have the broad spectrum of readiness. They have to be able to be prepared to teach what an alphabet is and what numbers are, as well as motor skills. Some of our children have never picked up a writing utensil at all. So it's a wide range. That's not the same in every school, which is one of the things we're working on in the district, is to help get readiness addressed at the younger age, to encourage preschool, so that children can come to us with kindergarten and first grade readiness skills that are more equitable across the board.
Sounds like a big challenge. And do you group children multi-levels in the kindergarten, or do you try to group them, you know, the lower skilled children with one teacher? How do you do?
We actually do both. In a classroom, we always have heterogeneous mixing, because there's great power in having children who are high work and reach the children who are low, and vice versa. There's children learn in so many different ways that every one of them can teach someone else how to do something. So within a classroom, it's heterogeneous. But what we do for the groupings is based upon subject and child needs. So we might have some little kindergartners who are really accelerated with numbers and are already adding and subtracting, but who are still having trouble with phonics and phonemic awareness. So when a teacher groups her children for reading, she's going to group those children who have the same reading needs together, but just for that time of day, just for that reading. Then when she groups them again for math, it's going to tip up the apple cart and be an entirely different grouping, so that the children who perhaps need number recognition or need subtraction will all be grouped together. So there is no standard grouping of children by a label. It's based solely upon their progress and what they need.
In one subject at a time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Kim, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming. What a wealth of knowledge you've provided for us.
Good luck to all of your students. We need more wonderful teachers out there.
Thank you. They'll probably be looking you up.
Wonderful. Thank you.